Hi guys, my name is Madison and I'm going to be doing my video over the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So the IRS classifies Make-A-Wish as a 501c3 public organization, which means that all of their funds are tax deductible as well as donations that they get. So the people donating get that tax reduction from the IRS, and since they are public, they are most generally getting donations from lots of different people, not just one singular family. They are located in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where they are headquartered, but they currently serve over 50 countries, and they have 54 chapters across the United States in just various states. So they are a pretty big organization. They serve children facing critical illnesses as well as their families. So they have a mission to grant every wish of every qualifying child. So it's really awesome. These kids, that might be their last opportunity to spend a great deal of time with their families, and so it's really a moving experience for them. I would classify them as serving the Health and Human Services category of the IRS. And what active projects and activities is the organization doing? So they are granting wishes like crazy. It's so awesome how many wishes they're able to grant. They have granted over 334,000 wishes to date. That's since 1980, so they grant over 20,000 each year, which is so awesome. They do this through various fundraising efforts. They have Walks for Wishes, which generate funds. They have individual fundraisers, and just lots of volunteers and donors will do their own individual fundraisers from the website, so that's really awesome. Do their activities clearly align with the support of the mission? Definitely. They do everything that they can to grant as many wishes as they can. I saw online that they are trying each year to minimize the cost of managerial expenses so that they can grant as many wishes as possible. So with a organization this big, they have some obvious strengths and weaknesses. Some of the strengths that I found was they have various volunteer opportunities. There are lots of different ways to get involved with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. If you just look on their website, they have so many different ways that you can volunteer for Walks for Wishes, or that you can adopt a wish and fundraise for that wish specifically, which is really a great cause. They have very strong brand recognition. I'm sure that Make-A-Wish is something you guys have all heard of. You would most often associate it with Disney, or they have just the little blue star, and so you know what Make-A-Wish is, and so that's really cool. They have a great use of moving stories on their website. If you go to their About Us page, they have just so many stories about their first wish, and his name was Chris, and it was just such a moving experience that they decided to start this organization. And so then they tell the story of their first official wish is Make-A-Wish, and it's a really moving story. They also use a large majority of their funds that go directly to granting wishes rather than to managerial costs, which is really awesome. I found on Forbes that 73% of the revenue generated goes directly to charitable cause rather than going to managerial costs, which is really great. Some of their weaknesses is that they often don't use social media as a two-way communication. So they put things out there, but they aren't really conversating with people through social media. The average wish costs between $7,500 and $10,000. So that can be pretty pricey, and that is a lot of money to come up with. So they are working to kind of get that cost down with different partnerships through Disney and different airlines and things like that. They also, another weakness would be that they prefer to sometimes use traditional social medias like Facebook rather than remaining up to date with younger generations, and that could be a problem for them in the near future if they aren't staying up to date with Instagram, Twitter, things like that younger generations are using. They have recently been in the news. There is stories all the time of kids getting their wishes granted, especially through local news stations. One thing that I thought was really awesome is that there was just an article released about how Kobe Bryant granted over 200 wishes in his lifetime, and that is just so amazing to me. I think that I read some of the articles, and he truly took the time to make sure that these kids seemed that they felt important, and I think that's really awesome that he did that. So why did I choose this organization for this assignment? My junior year of high school, our community started a philanthropy week, and I got the opportunity to be really involved with that, and we chose Make-A-Wish as our foundation to be our recipient. And we actually got to adopt the wish of a little boy in a neighboring community, and his name is Hadley, and he had the wish of going to Pearl Harbor with his family of 5. And so that was just a really touching experience to get to work with them and see how that all came together, how they worked with the family. It was just really touching. And so I really just admire their organization. And so, yeah, that is why I chose to do Make-A-Wish.